Well, in case you have been living under a rock, which I feel like lately some people have, I don't know. Shohei Ohtani has an agreement, of course, in place with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani, the greatest baseball free agent, arguably, of a generation. A batter, a pitcher, a guy that won't be pitching much in 2024, if at all, but somebody that obviously was going to be, no matter what, in high demand by whichever team had the resources to pay him the money that he felt like he was worth. And, of course, you have a team in the Toronto Blue Jays that were interested. You have a team in the LA Dodgers that, of course, were always going to be interested in a top-flight free agent. You can lump them in there with the Yankees. Yankees kind of out of the Ohtani sweepstakes due to the Juan Soto trade, out of the Ohtani sweepstakes due to paying Giancarlo Stanton, Garrett Cole, Aaron Judge in excess of $30 to $40 million per year. Juan Soto on the last year of his contract. They will more likely than not at this time next year be announcing that they will be extending Juan Soto. I can bet some money on that and feel pretty confident in that regard. But Shohei Ohtani finally coming to a decision, and that decision leads to Ohtani signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And this isn't just any other free agent, right? This isn't any other free agent. This isn't just any other contract. 10 years, $700 million that the LA Dodgers forked over for the services of Shohei Ohtani. And let me tell you guys this. I had initially heard the news, and I was at the Cheesecake Factory with my lovely lady, and I couldn't get any cell reception. Couldn't read anything, couldn't see, couldn't confirm or nor deny, couldn't have any of that up to date, if you will. And that was pretty frustrating in that moment. The biggest free agent signing in baseball in recent years, and yet I could not get any cellular reception. So that couldn't get an instant reaction out there to the Thomas Take fans. Couldn't get the instant reaction out to my social media followers. So I apologize for that. But nonetheless, I knew that I would be putting something out on this at a time that was convenient for me. And there is no better time than right here, right now on a Sunday morning as I prepare for the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs Week 14 clash. As you guys are getting prepped for your fantasy football playoffs next week as well, I'll be sure to give you guys some tidbits, who to start, who to sit in that regard too. Okay, so leaving you guys with a little something there. But in regards to Shohei Ohtani, back to the subject matter, Ohtani to the Dodgers, the first question that I wanted to ask myself is this good for baseball? Now, there are a lot of layers to breaking this down. Shohei Ohtani in and of himself is not only good for baseball, Shohei Ohtani is great for baseball. Shohei Ohtani is a generational 1 in a million talent, the likes of which I don't even know if I could say generational. He very well could be a 1 in a million type player. There's no player like him. There's never been a player like him. Quite like him in a lot of different regards, especially in this day and age where you can bring sports to such a dynamic level with social media, with streaming, with all sorts of capabilities that these leagues now have to divulge their product to their fan bases. And there is no fan base that is quite like baseball's. It's been jaded. It's been ebbed and flowed, whittled down in some cases over the course of the last 20 to 25 years, 30 years especially. And guys like me, we've never waned from baseball. There's never been a time where I've said to myself, I don't know if I want to watch baseball anymore. I've never said that to myself. I know those in my immediate circle, friends that I've had for the last 20 years, would say a lot different. They'd say it's slow-paced, it's boring, the strategy in it, I don't really understand it. And that's okay. I'm not going to hold that against them, but I will say if they At the very least, they might not be the biggest baseball fans, but I will say at the very least, they know who Shohei Ohtani is, and they like Shohei Ohtani. So that right there gives you a little bit of a preview, a little bit of a glimpse as to what type of player is Shohei Ohtani. He's a player that baseball has desperately needed for quite some time, a player that brings eyeballs to the game. Even ones that don't want to be watching baseball, they don't want to, sit on a Sunday afternoon, especially during football season. Even watch the playoffs, World Series wise that night. They're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to watch Sunday Night Football instead, type of thing. And I'm of the opinion that there's no better playoff sport than that of the MLB postseason. Far superior to the NFL playoffs, far superior to the NBA playoffs, far superior to the NHL playoffs. And the Big Four, baseball, it just hits different to me. And I have a different appreciation for it. Maybe it's due to the fact that I was born into the game, had coaches as relatives, immediate relatives, grandfather, father, type stuff. That could be easily a part of it, no doubt about it, but I just love the game, and I love players that have helped the game get to where it should be. Baseball should be one of the big three in this country. And you ask me who the other one is out of football and baseball, I would rank hockey a little bit higher than basketball, just in my opinion, but I know basketball, is much, much more popular, I think, in this country right now, the US of A, than that of the National Hockey League, the no-hit league, as I like to call it now. So it is what it is, in terms of how these sports have, promoted themselves to the level that the NFL has. The NFL was not the most popular sport in the country for decades, and yet over the last 30 years, it's become a super house, a superpower, if you will. And it's been the gauntlet of all sports, running the gauntlet, if you will, of all sports. And baseball has kind of slowly trudged along, trying to recover from, of course, the steroid era, which many can debate, and they'd be right to debate. Will they ever? And that's something that I'll talk about, on another show at another time. But Shohei Ohtani has definitely helped this concept of how can baseball recover from the just complete cluster, that was the steroid era, and they can recover from it with guys like Shohei Ohtani. He's somebody that I think is a great ambassador to the game. Obviously, his success with Team Japan in the World Baseball Classic was something that made the World Baseball Classic even more captivating to see Ohtani on the mound and at home plate, pitching against his then teammate Mike Trout, striking him out to close out the show on Team US of A in the World Baseball Classic, Japan beating USA. I think that only further cemented Ohtani's legacy as a player that is the best player in the game right now. He truly is the best player in the game. So we knew that the contract was going to be quite a lot of money. We knew that a team was going to go out and bring a lot of dollars and cents to Ohtani's agents. We knew that, right? But at the same time, I was left staggered to the point where I'm walking throughout this shopping center with my lovely lady, and I'm telling her 10 years, $700 million. I couldn't stop saying it at almost every, 25 to 20 minute turn. 10 years, $700 million. I cannot believe that a player was given that much money. And it goes back to when Alex Rodriguez was given 10 years, 265, 10 years, 275. I thought no one will ever touch anything quite like that. And it has been doubled and now tripled since 2000, what was that, 2006, 2007? So almost 20 years later, a player that got 250, 260, 265, 275, somewhere in that range, if my memory serves me right, now you have another player that can pitch and hit, getting $700 million. And by the way, it's not from the New York Yankees. Very interesting, right? If you would have told me that, 20 years ago, I would have said you're crazy. But here we are. And I think the fact that Shohei as a player is great for baseball, I've made that point. But is that contract great for baseball? Is that $700 million that Shohei Ohtani will receive over the next 10 years great for baseball? I think it lets casual fans take a look at that contract and say, see, that's why I don't watch it, because these guys make too much money. These guys get contracts that they shouldn't get. These guys get money that is just utterly ridiculous. And to that extent, I would agree. To that extent, I would say, man, $700 million, you could end world hunger with $700 million, and yet Shohei Ohtani, or at least put a dent in it, right? And at least Shohei Ohtani is getting that. But to me, what makes this, pardon me, what makes this a bad fit for baseball, a bad move for baseball, is not necessarily the contract, and it's certainly not the player, but it's more so the team that decided to fork over the money. Now, don't get me wrong, I will insert Red Sox fan joke here. If the Red Sox would have offered, number one, if the Red Sox would have offered Shohei $700 million, I would have, and he would have accepted, I'd be doing backflips right now. I would have said, damn the costs. We got Shohei Ohtani. Hell yes, or F yes, or F yeah, in that regard. That's what I'd be saying right now. But the Red Sox won't spend money at this current juncture outside of Rafael Devers. And I don't necessarily disagree with the reasons why, but it's just the way things are for right now. If Shohei would have went to the New York Yankees, I'd be pissed. For obvious reasons, I'd be feeling a little bit ticked off, and I'd be saying even worse as such that this was a bad fit for Shohei and for baseball. That'd make baseball look really bad in terms of how it would look to the casual fans. But realistically, the New York Yankees haven't been the New York Yankees for the better part of the last 10 to 15 years. They haven't gone out and they haven't spent an exuberant amount of money on a hitter outside of Aaron Judge, who was already on the team. It was just, essentially re-signed, extended. He was a free agent, but they kept their own, you know what I mean? In that regard, they're keeping their own in that regard. Where, Garrett Cole, pitcher, just doesn't have the same effect. When they fork over a lot of money for a pitcher, it's like, whatever. When they fork over a lot of money for a hitter, that's a real big move. And that's a move that is all over the headlines. It's just different. It's just a different feel, different narrative. And in this case, with Ohtani going to the Dodgers have been the team that have forked over hundreds of millions of dollars per player to get them to come and play in Hollywood. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, now Shohei Ohtani, all of those guys are making 30 to 40 to now 70 million per year. And that, to me, looks like a team that's trying to buy championships. And that's something that baseball, really is built against, with some teams having better records than others. Those teams being, the Oakland A's at some point in June could have a better record than that of the Boston Red Sox, for example. And that's just based on scouting. That's just based on preparation and spending money wiser and better. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the LA Dodgers are going to win the next, 10 World Series championships because they got Shohei Ohtani. I'm not saying that at all. Could quite possibly in the next 10 years end up being quite the opposite. But they will win one. They might win two. They might even win three with the team that they have over the next 10 years. And that would justify the contract given from the owners of the LA Dodgers to Ohtani. And frankly, even one World Series championship would justify that contract to some of these business owners. So it's not the player. The player is not a bad fit within the game of baseball, certainly not. It's not necessarily even the contract, because we knew that Shohei was going to get a ton of money, and the exact breakdown, the exact structure, if you will, of the contract has not been released yet. But more so to me, the team. Seeing the LA Dodgers continue to get better by poaching not just any player, but the best players that the game has to offer, especially at their particular positions. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, lends itself to believe that the Dodgers are just running a monopoly on baseball right now, and it's one that cannot and probably will not be stopped for quite some time. So that is my take on Shohei Ohtani heading to the Dodgers. A good move or bad move for baseball. I think history will let us know whether my take was right or wrong. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. That is my take on Shohei Ohtani heading to the Dodgers. 10 years, $700 million.